Hi, I'm Mitchell, your presenter at the moment, and reporter and stuff.
Hi, I'm Mitchell, presenter and reporter and stuff. Nice to meet you.
Yes, the pleasure is mine. What's your name?
So my name is Danielle.
Okay. Who do you work for?
I work for the Starlight Foundation in the Northern Territory.
Cool. What's the most touching performance you've done to the children in the hospital?
That's a really good question. We work with a lot of long-term patients in the hospital, so we've had some really beautiful moments with kids who are quite young, who when we first met them couldn't necessarily speak, and then we've had sort of prolonged exposure with the kid to the point where maybe 6 months after we first met them, this child who they didn't think could speak would run around and actually collect people going, Starlight's here, and they would literally just grab anyone that was close enough, and so that's really, really lovely, and we get to do a lot of really beautiful things like that.
That sounds really cool. Do people say my captain to you when you walk in the building?
All the time. If you're watching, come up with something new. We like that. We're all about invention. Anything. And please don't ask us to play Tiptoe Through the Tulips on the ukulele. That would also be that's probably just for the older people in the audience, but that's a nice thing to know.
What is a typical day for you in the office?
We are really lucky because we are a wandering program, so literally we don't have a space that we're set in, so we just walk around the hospital. So a typical day would be walking the doors of the hospital. We go to 5B, which is the children's ward, 7B, which is the infectious children's ward, level 8, which does paediatric clinics, the outpatients area where kids go to get their plaster taken off or anything like that. We also go and find adolescents that have been put into the adult ward and hang out with them, play games, make balloons, do all that kind of stuff.
Cool. Have you ever been injured doing a performance?
Injured during a performance? Not as a Captain Starlight, no.
Okay.
I became a Captain Starlight because I have a performance background. So I've been performing around Darwin since I was about 15. I did drama at school. I've been part of Corrugated Iron Youth Arts. I do stand-up comedy. I'm a writer. I'm a this, that, and the other. I pretty much do most forms of art and paint and stuff. And so I got into this job by having someone who was leaving say, "Oh, you'd be really good at that job." And I applied and got the job. So it was pretty lucky to get through. We're really lucky in Darwin because we have such a small sort of arts community. So if you are interested in doing something like this, all you need to do is get on the website, and there's a really good chance that they'll be looking for someone casual, to start out.
If you could take back any of the performances that might have scared like a little child, not like necessarily a big one, which one would you take back or something?
Yeah, well there is a lot of that, and particularly when you're working with kids of all age groups, sometimes you get a bit carried away when you're dealing with the little kids. So I guess I've had a couple of situations where I've been a little bit too loud and crazy and lots of this, which would probably be best if I'd come in a little quieter and just blown some bubbles. I wish I always led with blowing bubbles. How about that? Look, it's amazing, and I am like probably the luckiest person alive because I get to do this every day, and I get to see really beautiful things happen, and kids get better from being really sad and really sick, and so I feel really blessed. I feel really lucky to be able to do what I do. It's pretty impressive. At the end of the day, I wake up every morning and I'm like, yes, I get to go to work, and so that automatically helps pick up your energy levels. Other than that, eating lots of healthy food, which sounds really lame, but lots of fruit really helps. The natural sugars get you through. Just loving what you do. It's really easy to get out of bed when you love what you're doing, and yeah, it's good. So I do every day a week. There's kind of a collection, so most people do 4 days, a few people do 3 days. They're pretty flexible, so if you're performing in a show, you can often just get time off to go and tour your show or whatever and come back. We were seeing sort of a 21-year-old girl, and we hadn't really been spending much time with her, but she was in a big party. We got asked to go to this maternity leave party, and we sang a song, and this lady who hadn't spoken the whole time, and so again the nurses didn't know if she could speak, and she lost a lot of function, and she started to sing along with us. So she knew the song that we were singing, and she sang along with us. And it was beautiful. So we would visit her every single day just to see it because it was lovely. And then about it would have been about a year and a half later, I actually saw her again, and she could walk and she could speak, and she pulled me aside and said, "You used to come and sing to me," and that was really like, oh, that's a bit nice. It was lovely because you didn't know how much she kind of understood of what was happening, so it was really nice. So that's kind of against what we stand for. So you're there to be really happy and fun whilst you're in hospital, but outside of hospital, no, because I am Danielle. I'm not Captain Starlight when I take off my uniform, if that makes sense. So there's a very definite sort of line between Danielle the person and Captain Starlight the person. So no, not particularly. I guess appropriateness. I could walk into a room with any of you guys, and if I started playing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, you'd tell me to go away. So I have to be very aware of what's appropriate for the age group that I'm dealing with. So things like knowing popular songs. So you guys are all going to grow, but knowing things like One Direction and Justin Bieber and knowing things like that helps me to be able to kind of get in with teenagers, even if I know it in a naff kind of weird way. It's kind of still funny, and knowing grown-up jokes and being able to make sort of, I'm a balloon maker. That's kind of my most favourite thing that I've learned during this job. So I make lots of balloon animals. So knowing how to make kind of cool, complicated things like a motorbike or a mermaid or something like that is easier to kind of get involved with teenagers and not having to do things like singing Twinkle Twinkle or any of that.
Thank you for having an interview with me, and we have enjoyed your time very sincerely.
Well, thank you for having me on. It's been very nice. Thanks, guys.
You're watching GRINDonline.
Yes!